Hi, my name's Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are Your Bourbon Journey.
Today we're excited to be tasting Booker's 24-03, the Master Distillers Batch. This particular bottle is 7 years, 8 months, and 7 days old and comes in at a really nice 130 proof. If you read the story on the bottle, the label that comes with the bottle, you'll find out that this is done as a nod to all those master distillers in Booker Nose Day when they went out and really started promoting bourbon face to face, got themselves out of the distillery and got to meet the people, and then they became rock stars. So I'm very excited. We have tasted this a few times this week because it's pretty good. We're going to give you a hint in advance. So let's go ahead and see what the nose is like.
Okay, now that I'm ready to talk and drink, here we go.
It is a beautiful, deep amber color, which is, you can tell it's been in the barrel for over 7 years. Oh, it smells really good.
There's a slight sweetness. I'm getting cherry.
Brown sugar.
How come you taste so good?
Cinnamon. I don't know if you said cinnamon, but I'm getting brown sugar and cinnamon.
Tad bit of smokiness. It's funny, so far since we've been doing this, I've been picking up a lot of smokiness on the bourbons we tried.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and I want to dive into it here.
Okay, I'll drink it.
Oh yeah. Definitely that brown sugar cinnamon note, which is really yummy. Almost a confectionery sugar once you taste it.
I find dark chocolate, coffee. It's a little bit of cinnamon, brown sugar, tad bit of cherry.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a dark fruit, cherry, or even possibly a date, but it's leaning a little more to cherry for me. It's very good.
It's tremendous. It's superb. It's outstanding. Yeah, it's good.
We happen to like Booker, so we might be a little biased, but we have yet to have a bottle of Booker's we didn't enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But they all have their little nuances. I think I want to do another little taste before we move to the finish. I'm also picking up a little bit of that traditional Booker's, Jim Beam, kind of peanut flavor coming through. It wasn't as strong on my first sip, but I'm definitely finding it on the second sip. So you may need a couple sips to find that.
It's really good. Shall we grab the cranberry?
Well, I'd rather talk about the finish first.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
It's okay. So that requires another sip. So you can see why our bottles go down so quickly. It is really nice and comfortable. It is 130.3 proof, but it doesn't it's not a chokehold Kentucky hug kind of thing. It's warm and inviting. It feels like a winter bourbon, as we've talked about with a couple releases recently, but I think it's great. It's long. What flavor? Are you getting any flavors in particular out of it?
I am glad you asked. I am getting hints of white pepper.
This is my husband. He's a clown.
I am getting white pepper, and there's a little bit of cinnamon in the back, which is definitely the heat. But it's very smooth going down. It's not a gigantic Kentucky hug or bear hug. It's pleasant. It's really, really good.
This is good sipping bourbon.
It is.
Oh, and I will say also, I'm getting some of those, you mentioned it before on the palate, but I'm getting some coffee notes in the finish, as well as some dark chocolate. So let's go ahead and, as you said before, let's try it with the dried cranberry to see what happens with these sugars.
Now we get to go ahead and do this.
That really changed it up in a way that I'm not real crazy about.
It's effervescent.
Now that part's kind of fun. That it's going kind of pop, 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 pop. That's kind of fun.
It's like throwing Pop Rocks in your mouth, but the Pop Rocks aren't like grape or apple or whatever. They're actually some sort of spice.
Yeah, spicy pops. Yeah. So it really did that. And I'm also, which is common, at least on our palate, with the cranberry is getting some orange peel, but I'm feeling like the orange peel has been torched a little bit. It's been like squeezed and slightly flambéed because it's got that smokiness of orange, which is, I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but that's what my mind is telling me. So.
Well, based on the description you just gave, I am glad I did not get that, ladies and gentlemen. But it's what we all get. It's just the funny thing with bourbon. Having been a wine drinker, I think I said in a previous video, I'm amazed at what you get out of bourbon. Wine, it always got about the same thing. So anyway, let's go and go to the
pecan.
Pecan.
I'm looking forward to this. See if it brings
Pecan
out that
or pecan?
chocolate. I like pecan.
Okay, I do too.
Pecan or cans of peas, as far as I'm concerned. This is pecan. That's pretty yummy. A lot of dark chocolate coming forward. The oak is very present with the pecan.
Oh, yes. I feel like, in a way, I'm doing a repeat of the cran because I'm getting a lot of, using the word again, effervescent. I almost feel like it's a champagne that's blowing in my mouth. And it's good. It's definitely different. In the finish, it kind of muted.
I've still got the finish happening.
Interesting.
And I did still get the, as I said before, the chocolate came through, the oak, and I'm still getting a little bit of that coffee note.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you on the popping peppers happening. It's pretty interesting.
That's a win for me because when the wife agrees with you, that's outstanding. So we go to the chocolate.
Dark chocolate. That's very pleasant. It's got this creamy texture. Obviously, you're getting the chocolate that I had previously through all parts of this, but it's amplified with the chocolate.
For me, it's creamy spice. Finish is short.
I feel like the cinnamon's come back.
Maybe.
It was kind of like chili before, but now I feel like the cinnamon has come back. And the dark cherry that we had on the nose and got a little bit on the palate, I feel like the dark cherry has come back with this one too. Very good. I like it. Well, did you have a preference of our 3 pairings?
Well, my favorite of the 3, actually, as crazy as it sounds, I really kind of like the pecan. It was different. There was a little bit of kind of chocolate in there, but I liked it more than the cran. Actually, my least favorite, believe it or not, was the chocolate.
My least favorite was probably the cran, and my favorite, I align with you because I like the pecan as well. I think it was very well rounded. You still had the good finish with the pecan, which tells you can pair that probably in the main course of your meal if you were pairing this. I probably would not recommend this as a dessert bourbon, which is not shocking that Booker's would not be a dessert bourbon at 130.3, but still very good. I mean, neat is our favorite, I'm assuming. Yes.
Yes.
Thumbs up, 2 thumbs up.
I do think that this would make a really good bourbon to drink while smoking a cigar.
Oh, we need to try that. Sometime I'll do a video on the patio doing a cigar.
That would really be good.
Let us know if you're interested in seeing that and finding out what cigars pair. Well, right now we're going to take a slight time out and we're going to grab the 1 and 2 versions of Booker's for this year.
Okay.
And see if we can do a really quick taste comparison to see how they line up. Hey, we're back and we have the bottles in front of us that we're ready and pours ready to sample. You can probably tell when I look at the bottles, we have enjoyed them. Look at that. You can see number 1, which was the Springfield batch, number 2, Beam House, number 3, which is Master Distillers Batch. We don't just buy bourbon and collect it. We drink our bourbon because we really like it, right?
We do. Not only that, but we actually share it, because it is about sharing. If you're the type of person that kind of hoards your bourbon and stays in your bourbon room, that we're not the type of people for you to hang around with. We like to not only share it, but we drink.
Anyway, what we're going to do is kind of an express tasting, which we're going to just nose them and see what we think, what we're finding from the 3, and then do a express tasting as well.
Okay, so we're going to pick our nose with this.
He makes me laugh a lot. I'm sorry.
I know.
So what's your ranking for the nose?
Well, it would be, my favorite is, going back to the beginning, was
Springfield.
Springfield. I guess it's Jesse's Girl there. And then I like number 3. And then number 2 is my least. And honestly, if this was paired up against most stuff that we have, it probably would win. This is really, all 3 are outstanding.
And I'm just going to slightly differ. I am digging the Master Distiller nose. So I'm going, this is my number 1 is batch 3. My number 2 is batch 1, and my number 3. So we agreed on number 3. We just swapped our number 1, basically. So let's do a quick taste and see which one we think is our palate favorite. Okay. Doesn't mean it's your palate favorite, but it's what's kind of, we're digging.
I'll do my best.
I'm feeling I'm from the 60s. I'm digging it.
Okay.
I can see why we killed that bottle. Just saying. I'm going to go first this time.
Go ahead.
So this is hard because I don't dislike any of them. I love them all. And maybe because it's new and my palate's just like wrapping its arms around it right now, but I'm going, the current Master Distiller batch is my favorite. And I'm really lining up with my nose on this one, which half the time I don't do that, but I'm going with Springfield batch 2nd and Beam House batch 3rd.
Well, for me, actually, the line is staying the same. I really still love the Springfield. And then we go over here to the new one at number 2, and the Beam is 3. And actually, that I had to really think about that because on the taste, the second time it was much better.
Yeah. Well, and what I think is interesting is that there are some people that feel like Booker's always taste kind of the same, just slightly different proof or whatever. I think they all have different profiles. And I think on any day of the week, I might pick a different one. Mm-hmm. And obviously we love Springfield. We love them all because look how these bottles, we've hit these bottles hard. Mm-hmm. And this may even be our 2nd bottle of Springfield. I'm just saying. But we've had it longer because it was the first release of the year. So these are all great. If you're a fan of Booker's, I wouldn't say anything bad about any of these. I mean, it is a tight decision. Uh-huh. And I think this one is probably, let me look at this real quick. This one is 124.6 proof. Okay. This one is 124.5 proof. So their proof is almost identical. I'm probably known as, it's kind of a joke with people we go out with, I'm kind of the high proof girl. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why I'm leaning toward this one because it's 130.3 and the fact that it doesn't burn you and it's just good and flavorful at that proof level just makes me give 2 thumbs up.
Well, it's excellent. All 3. This has been a really, really good year for Booker's, and I am really looking forward to the 4th one coming out,
which is Jimmy Russell's.
And
it's
you talk
dedicated to Jimmy Russell. I cannot wait for 4 to come out.
I mean, it is crazy to think that you basically have 2 of the older iconic brands that are going to be in a Jim Beam bottle, a nod to Wild Turkey for Booker's. And that's the long-term relationship they have.
Well, and Jimmy Russell was best friends with Booker now.
Yeah.
And we have not reviewed it officially, but we did get the 2024 Reserve Bookers at the Bourbon Festival, and we should probably let us know if you'd like to hear our thoughts on that one, because it was pretty tasty too.
Or look, even though the fact that we just started and we don't have a whole lot of fans yet, we probably will just review it regardless of whether or not you want to hear about it.
Just because we want to, because we think it's great. So Wayne and Rebecca here telling you that we are massive Booker's fans and we can't wait to get the next release. And I would say these are all really good.
Nod to Fred and Freddie. You're doing a really good job. And all I can say is I would pick up all 3, but I'll just pick up the first one here, the Springfield, and say cheers. Hope you have a great day. Drink responsibly. And if you don't, stay at home. Cheers.
And don't forget to subscribe, because we would love to have you follow us and let us know what you'd like to hear more about.
Absolutely. Cheers.